As we even knew in the very beginning, back in 1999, Stillwaters trails and interpretive areas are being developed in ways that will impact the environment as minimally as possible, while still allowing us to appreciate and learn from this treasure of nature. The estuaries and uplands are a grand stage where we experience the images that touch the deepest sense of life's beauty. And while we want to share this treasure and thereby teach others how to live gently on the earth, Stillwaters will always be, first and foremost, the home of the heron, the otter, the bear, and the birds. We will never knowingly take that from them. We knew there was something different about this marsh out here. There was some reason there were no trees back there. Doing all this work to have the county buy the marsh, and doing all this work to get those culverts removed, and doing all this work to monitor things, and bringing education here, and telling the world what an amazing space this is. And it is. I mean, that's one of the things we figured out after we lived here for a few years and decided it needed to be an environmental center.
The process of having people come here to volunteer, you have an opportunity to do some kind of education that you could never do in a workshop or, other kind of more formal settings. Mm-hmm. Because they actually get to be amongst the reality of what you're talking about.
Not only are they there on site, but they are contributing in some way. I mean, even if they're just working on the property, but if they're out there, especially if they're out there doing monitoring, all of our science stuff has been done always with volunteers involved. Even if we had interns from the colleges, once we started getting interns to help, tried to use volunteers too, because then the community has ownership.
I just thought of Stillwaters in general as a bit of a sustainability focused environmental center in Kingston. But boy, that really wasn't the heart of Stillwaters. It was the monitoring program and the people who were doing the field monitoring and who were stepping into that marsh to do sediment samples and stepping into little streams to check flow and document all that. It really was an eye-opening experience, and I'm so grateful that I had more years after that awakening to serve Stillwaters.
With the county's help, we started the stream monitoring program, and then many years later started the estuary monitoring program. So we got them interested in those two culverts, got people to be more aware of them and how restricting they were, especially the scour holes. Like Jolene said, the scour holes were a major concern because they were, and when the tide went out, those were just traps where the fish got trapped, as well as other crab and other things. And you'd see the herons out there just, sitting along the edge and just eating their lunch. Yeah, and the kingfishers and everything else. It was great for them. But not so good for the wildlife.
Right after those culverts were replaced and the estuary was open to Puget Sound completely, my kids were probably 11 and 13, and I gave them some money to go rent paddle boards while I was in my meeting. And after their adventure, after my meeting was over, we regrouped and they said, "Mom, you'll never believe what we saw. You went under this bridge and you were in this whole new world of nature, and there were great blue herons and there was so much wildlife. It was so cool. You would love it. You should come out there with us." And I just said, I know, it's an awesome place. And I was so pleased that my kids got to enjoy that piece of nature that is here right in the heart of Kingston.
We're living in a transition time, a time when we have the choice to restore and preserve the environment or we can continue to ignore its demise and forever we will lose our own habitat. So transitions are what we hope will happen for the folks who visit Stillwaters. By seeing, hearing, and experiencing this fascinating slice of the earth, we hope that people will learn enough and be motivated enough to transition in their levels of understanding and commitment to protecting and preserving the earth and environment where they live.